made 8 seasons of this crap! Ah, for Christ's sake.
Hey everybody, NecroVMX here, and welcome to the VMX Show Season 8, Episode 3. I have Serpent here today with me. He'll be on the show a bit later to talk about some stuff. And he did sing a little bit, believe it or not. Even Serpent sings. We got the news, we got sales charts, we got everything coming at you. But first, let's go to your questions and comments from last week. Alright, let's get this started. There's a lot of people in here. Let's see. Alex Shannon says, have you played Cave Story? You know how many times I've asked people to stop asking me questions like, have you played this? And if so, what do you think? And all that. I still get these. I have not played Cave Story. Why do you want to know? Poof Nuse said, today I saw Being John Malkovich, and yeah, it was weird. But I expected it to get more weird, but it was pretty good. And by the way, my name's not Axel, it's Axel. Your name's Axel! Oh my god. Here's my question. Old NES Ninja Gaiden versus new Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden. I don't know, man. They're both good. Jimmy9298 says, Necro, you really don't take shit from anyone. I like that. It's hilarious looking down at the comments and seeing you insult some smart aleck douche. Have you always been that way? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Let's see. Hold on one second here. I gotta move things around. Okay. Ginchan says, hey Necro, nice episode of the show as usual. Here's a few questions. Number one, I've seen your 3 games of the year, so I want to know what's your top 3 worst games of the year if you played. Oh, I don't know. I don't really play bad games, and you know, the thing is, if I play a game and I'm not enjoying it, I stop playing, but I don't really buy a game unless I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it. And number 2, I know you don't like anime, but since you're a Castlevania fan, would you watch Castlevania anime if it comes out? Well, if it comes out, I'd give it a shot, yeah. Probably wouldn't like it, but you never know. YNSU94 says, a great show. Well, thank you. CPman05 says, stick it sending in lists, Poof Nise. I think that's how you spell it. Anyway, expect to see another comment from me after this. I'm not done watching yet. Alright, I guess we'll expect another comment from you. Alright, let's see. Irish Talk says, hey, Necro, nice to see you doing the VMX show again. It's always fun to hear your opinion on stuff. What other podcasts would you recommend listening to? Oh, I don't listen to podcasts, so I'm not really... You know what? People assume that if I do something, then I'm into seeing other people do that. Like, people are going to be like, what LPers do you like? And I'm like, I don't really watch LPers. Well, you know, so it's kind of the same thing. Grovik says, great show. What are your thoughts on the Legacy of Kain series? I don't have any thoughts on it. Why do people keep asking me questions like that? Can't you guys come up with anything original than just asking my opinion on some random old-ass series? Alright, CPman05 says, alright, needless to say, but I will say it anyways, I will find my way onto the VMX show this season. You people will love it. Well, I guess that remains to be seen. Anywho, these Steam machines sound sick. I mean, they're friggin' expensive as all hell, but so are gaming computers, right? With console games surely dying, and call me crazy, but I think Nintendo would be the only company that can save consoles. Don't ask why, but it's merely a hunch. I believe that these machines are going to be the way to go. I don't think Nintendo's... They did it once already. I don't think Nintendo's the one to survive console gaming. Well, okay, I said that wrong. I don't think they're the ones to save it. They may survive it simply by doing what they've been doing and not competing with Sony and Microsoft. Alright. The amazing Ronnie Alley says, stupid question, but I just want you to answer one from me. Waffles versus pancakes. Oh, wow. I guess, you know, it depends on how I'm feeling. Right now, I would probably pick pancakes over waffles, but they're both very good. The Game Rage one says, I like Axel's Swedish version of Still Alive. It was funny. It would be even more funny if he did a Swedish version of Do the Mario from the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. That would be hilarious. Anyway, I was wondering, what do you think of Anita Sarkeesian? I have no idea who that is. Why do you assume... Alright, whatever. And he says, personally, I think she's full of shit when she claims most video games are inherently sexist or misogynistic. Well, that's why I never heard of her. She's an idiot. Insane Wayne253 says, I have to ask, what's the story... Oh, this is a good question. What's the story behind Roll being a whore? Alright. Was it from the time you wrote Mega Man porn in high school? That was not in high school, but... And would ZSA consider doing a split album? Yes to that last one. The Roll being a whore thing was just... I was on YouTube. It's just a joke. I was on YouTube and I was playing a Mega Man game, and I just referred to Roll as a whore, like, once. And there was this guy who was, like, really offended by it. Let me see if I can find that comment. I'm actually going to go to my YouTube and search right now for roll and whore. I'm just going to look at, like, what the oldest email on here is. Wow, that goes back to 2004. That can't be that. Let's see, where's YouTube? Well, there's a comment from Serpent saying, is the reason because Mega Man doesn't have balls. Alright, let me actually go to the video, because I'm pretty sure it was on that video, which was Mega Man 1, just like an old video that I did, and see if I can, bring it up here, where the guy got really upset, because I called Roll a whore. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Might have been deleted. Oh well. Well, anyway, yeah, I just started saying it all the time just because it really bugged this one guy, and I thought it would be funny to just rub it in his face that Rolls a whore. But there you go. All right, so Garnet Till Alexandros has a couple of questions here. She says, "Hey Necro, love the VMX show and got a few questions for you. Number one, is Tanya different when she's your boss, or she's still just as crazy awesome like when we hear on List Critics? Let me put it to you this way. What you hear on List Critics, that is Tanya 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. She is always like that. Number two, I played the Chronicles of a Dark Lord 2 demo, and I got a question. Who did that fucking sweet boss theme when you fight the mage guy on the bridge? By the way, the overworld theme is one of the best I've ever heard in an RPG. Simply amazing." I gotta agree with you on that last point. As for who did the boss theme, that was 331E-Rock from YouTube, Eric Calderone. I'll tell you the story behind that. Basically, he's this guy that I've been subscribed to for a while, that he does like metal versions of things that are not metal. Like he'll take like Gangnam Style and make that metal, or he'll take like My Little Pony and he'll make that metal, you know. It's really kind of amusing, and he does a lot of video game stuff. And he was, I was watching this video of him playing the Skyrim main theme on, you know, guitar and doing the metal version, and I was like, this is good, I gotta show this to Tanya. Tanya's a big Skyrim person. So I was like, hey Tanya, you gotta check this out, and she's watching this, and she's like, oh, this guy's awesome, I'm gonna subscribe. And what happened was, then she's like, you know, you should contact this guy and see if he wants to do anything with us. And I said, you know what, I will. So I contacted him. I said, would you ever be interested in doing any music for a video game? And I explained everything, and he wound up saying yes. And I said, I just want you to do a boss battle theme. And he's like, well, like, what, you know, how do you want it to sound, and this and that. I was like, just make it epic and metal as fuck. You know, no guidelines. Just do whatever you want. Just give me whatever, you know, your interpretation of boss battle is. And that's what he came up with, and it's pretty fucking awesome. Power Perception says, I'm friends with Axel. Well, who cares? Alright, that's just, like, worthless comment. LaDon James says, what food do you most frequently eat? Did you play any sports growing up? Alright, you know, if you're going to have, like, multiple questions, could you please number them so I know to pause? Alright, what food do I most frequently eat? Well, I eat a lot of, like pasta and wraps and stuff like that. I do whatever's, like, quickest for me, really. I like hamburgers a lot. Not the kind you get at, like McDonald's or whatever. I mean, I like to make my own. Did you play any sports growing up? Yeah, mostly baseball, some football, but yeah. Do you want kids soon? Not soon, but yes. I appreciate all the years of consistent content, man. Everything you put up always has me laughing and feeling good. Ooh, feels good. Oh my. Alright, Elias Almaraz Herrera says, hey NecroVMX, I got a Walking Dead video game, and I've been thinking about how the zombie apocalypse may have started. What do you think is a good theory for the dead rising up and killing a bunch of people? They were bored. Moving on. Slayer Darth has numbered questions. 7 of them. Jesus Christ. Hey Necro, another great episode. Some more questions. Number 1, what is the oldest film you've ever seen? That would have to be the original Frankenstein, the 1910 version. I don't think I've ever seen anything earlier than that. Number 2, what is your other job then? If I wanted to tell you guys, I would have told you guys already. Obviously, I am keeping that to myself. All you need to know is that it's in the healthcare field. Number 3, have you ever considered bringing in members of the team at Kazarth Studios as special guests for the List Critics? For example, I'd love to hear from your friend Andrew. Andrew would probably love to be on the show. The only problem is Andrew's hearing impaired. He's deaf, so, you know, we'd all have to, like, talk very slowly and clearly, like we do at Kazarth meetings, and that kind of, like, puts a damper on things. And also he has like kind of like the deaf speech pattern, so he's kind of hard to understand at times. So he doesn't really do a lot of talking, he does a lot of typing. Number 4, out of both List Critics and VMX Show, which feature do you like making more? Oh, List Critics is more fun. And I only have to do it once a month. Now I look forward to that. Number 5, I understand that you're pretty good at graphics design. However, do you also excel at motion graphics, or at the very least you have some motion graphics software, for example, Adobe After Effects, Maxim, Cinema 4D, etc.? I have Adobe After Effects, but that's only because I have the entire Adobe Creative Suite. I don't do motion graphics, like, really at all. The closest thing would be in Chronicles of Dark Blood Episode 1, like all the special effects were done by me, but that was literally like drawing them frame by frame, and then the engine itself animated them. Number 6, have you ever been outside the States? Yes, I've been to Canada. And number 7, what is the rarest game you own? Well, I own a bunch of rare games, but the rarest game I own, believe it or not, is a GameCube game, which is a sports title. It's an NCAA College Hoops 2K3. It's not rare for PlayStation 2, it's not rare for Xbox, but it's rare on GameCube, because the GameCube version came out a little bit later, and then there was some sort of licensing issue, so they only made like a couple of copies. There's only a couple hundred copies out there, I believe. It's very rare. But I did manage to get it off a guy on eBay who was selling it. I don't think he realized it was that rare. And I got it for like $25. Well, I paid $50, but it was two games, so I consider that I got it for $25. So there you go. Representing Rodina says, good afternoon, Necro. I just finished Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen for the first time. Thanks for bringing this series to my attention. It's really good, but vexingly difficult to get the best endings. I got one of the worst endings, Tower Ending. I was wondering what was the best ending you attained in this game. You know, it's been so long since I played that one. I really couldn't tell you. I don't go back to that particular one as much as I do the other 2 games in the series, so that's really why I couldn't really tell you off the top of my head. Splashfires UX says, what dead game series do you wish was still around? Well, normally I would answer Breath of Fire to that, but Capcom recently announced a Breath of Fire 6, except I wish they hadn't, because it looks like it's not going to be very good. It's all mobile tablet stuff. There's no Ryu. It's all... It's Flee-Flu, dude. It's Flee-Flu. So, instead of Breath of Fire, I will say that I wish they would make another ActRaiser. Serpent21 says, hey, Necro, has Armageddon Time and you ever had any more humorous calls, like when he was loaded and just can't stop bringing up FF7? Thank you and have a great day. Yes! As a matter of fact, one of the greatest regrets that I have right now is that there was another call and I didn't record it, and I really wish I could have recorded it, but he was once again extremely drunk, way more drunk than in the Final Fantasy VII call. And his roommates, who were these 2 lesbians, were in his room, and they were on his bed, like, making out, I guess. And he's, like, being a perv and shit, and it was pretty funny. But the funny part was, he was so drunk that he was very suggestible, we'll put it to you that way. Basically, if Armageddon Time is drunk, you could probably, if you have a little charisma, you could probably convince him to do anything. Anyway, I mean, no gay stuff, obviously, not that I would, but that's probably where he draws the line. But, like, I couldn't be like, hey, go over there and kiss that dude. He'd probably go, I ain't doing that, fuck you, you know. But I convinced him that I told him that if he serenades the 2 ladies, that they might have sex in front of him. And they could hear me saying this, you know. So they're kind of in on it, you know. So I was like, they'll totally bang if you sing to them. And he was all like, you mean I could be beholden to the wonders of vaginal pressure? And, you know, the whole time I'm trying so hard not to laugh. And that's like the funniest thing I've ever heard him say. Because it made no sense. It was just vaginal pressure. So I was like, yeah, man, they'll totally bang if you sing to them. And then he's on board, and he's like, what should I sing? And one of them goes, oh, you should sing Britney Spears. And I was like, yeah, dude, you gotta, like, sing Hit Me Baby One More Time. And I got him to do it. He actually sang the whole fucking song, loud, drunken singing Hit Me Baby One More Time, which was hilarious. Like, he had to, like, bring up, like a YouTube video and, like, a lyrics, you know? But he did it. And, yeah. Needless to say, it didn't work the way he thought it was going to work, but it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard, and I really wish I had been recording at that time, but I wasn't. There was also another call. Actually, this one's on YouTube. It's partially on YouTube. I put part of it up. He used to live with a bunch of people, and there was this one girl, I forget her name, but she had the reputation as being stinky, you know, that she didn't bathe all that often, and she was a dirty kind of person, and she smelled bad. And they had actually a couple of interventions with her where they would, like, tell her, like, dude, you gotta shower, and, like, you know, like, use deodorant, and you can't be stinking up and clean up after yourself, you know. Don't pick at your cyst at the dinner table. Like, that was actually a specific thing that I remember them having to tell her. So yeah, a bunch of, like, Jesse and a bunch of his roommates were all on Skype with me, and I didn't realize this girl was there, and I was making fun of her the whole time, and I was, like, saying that they should, like, get a bunch of deodorant and, like sticks and sticks of deodorant and stick it into a pressure cooker and get it all liquefied, and they get, like, one of those fire hoses and just hose her down. And I didn't realize that she was there, and then one of the other roommates is like, hi, you're gonna get sprayed by a hose! And she wound up running off, and then the other girl's chasing her around the house, laughing her ass off. For 5 minutes, all you could hear is this one girl cackling her head off. And I had no idea she was there, and they were like, did you realize she was right there? And I'm like, no, but that's really funny. So there you go. Moving on, there's only one more here. I thought I had more comments than that. Some of them must have been marked as spam. I'll have to check. Well, it doesn't say any of them are marked as spam. Usually there's this message saying some comments have been marked as spam. Alright, well, here's the last one. From Jeremy Fools. He says, hey, Necro, have you ever read any Chuck I never know how to say this guy's name. Chuck Palahniuk novels? And if so, what'd you think? I mean, come on with this! To answer the question, the only novel I've ever read of his was Fight Club, and I also read a short story, so something about a fish sucking a guy's asshole, like sucking his guts out through his asshole or something. Yeah. Let's get S-Serpent in here. So we have S-Serpent with us today. You were on the show previously, weren't you?
Yes.
When was that? That was a while back, wasn't it?
Season 7, Episode 5.
Seems like forever ago.
Maybe, yeah. It was like whenever, well, you did the last season.
Yeah, well, it was quite a while because I did, you know, like the Gamers Encyclopedia and that recent thing I did, the 10 Facts thing, so.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Really liked the Zelda one.
Well, we'll be doing more of those in the future after the next Gamers Encyclopedia. But you came here to talk about your moment of triumph in gaming.
Oh, yeah, it's one of them. It's the one that always sticks out in my mind with what is arguably my most favorite game ever, and it's something I mentioned very briefly before we started. Any of you out there who are fans of list critics might remember that I made a list of my favorite games, and at number 1 was a game called Wing Commander Privateer. And it's a game I still have, but sadly can't play, but it's funny, when you were showing me that trailer, if I can deviate for a second for that game trailer you're just showing me, it was on GOG. Privateer is on that also.
A lot of great games on GOG.
Oh yeah, it's made me almost think about wanting to get it just so I can play it again. But anyway, excuse me. For those of you who do not know, I'll just give you a really brief idea of the game. Privateer is a game where it's a flight sim game where you more or less have a ship, you fly around to different parts of space, and you make money doing various things. You can check like the job board, you can join a mercenary or merchant guild and like look for jobs, like a pirate has been sighted in one of these 3 systems, go there, kill him, and we'll pay you when you get back. Or explore these 5 parts of space, and upon successful completion you get paid, you know, X amount of dollars. And, you know, you can buy like different guns for your ship. Some shoot faster, some reload quicker, some shoot farther. You know, higher, lower damage, and then there's different ships you can get. You start with like this little crappy scout. There's
all right. Well, you don't need to give us the design document.
Okay, I'm just trying to give you an idea of how the game is. Anyway, there is a plot mission to the game. I mean, this game was very heavy on you fly and you live this game as, you know, you want to. And you do not need to do the plot at all if you don't want to, but I wanted to at one point, and you go to like, more or less you go meet this guy and he gives you this artifact. And then you find more and more people who will try and point you in the right direction of whether this, what this artifact is and what it does. And it eventually leads you to this one system where you join the exploratory service. And the exploratory service says, well, we need you to fly out to this place, map this, it's just fly to these points and come back. And unfortunately, the one thing in this game series that was annoying is you always have to fly around asteroids, and if you go too fast, you smack into them and you die easy. And, you get around to these different...
Why do games do that?
I don't know, it's pointless busy work nonsense.
The asteroid thing, because, I think that they kind of get it like Star Wars, the
Empire Strikes Back.
But, in reality, it would be so easy to fly through an asteroid field because they're so fucking far apart.
Yeah, well, they put them together if someone threw a big bag of golf balls at you, and this thing the size of a golf ball hits you. If you're going slow, it's just punk. It's oh, no big deal. And one laser blast will just blow them out of your way. But if you're going fast, they crush you. In fact, sometimes the other
string.
What's that?
You hit that cosmic string.
Oh yeah. Cosmic. What, from Star Trek?
Yes, I knew you'd reference.
The Loss. Anyway, and then you have to dogfight in the asteroids, and usually the ships you fly are these crappy little bad guy ships that go down really easy. It's the ones that everybody's got, and they're you just sneeze at them and they die. No big deal. You get back. You go to a second mission where you go out past the point you explored and do another one. This time you run into some guy who was part of their service, and he attacks you, but he's on his own and in the middle of nowhere, so he's nothing. And then you get back, and they're ooh, something mysterious must be out here, and eventually you do find something, but the third mission I could never get past. And I was and I had looked at already, I had a hint book that tells you need this ship with these kind of guns, this radar, these kind of missiles, this engine loadout. You need X amount of stuff to do. It's I could do that, but when the game had put me onto this idea of you can do what you want, I wanted to stick with the ship I had because I liked it and it was cool. It was the really tough armored one. And I'm going to go out there. Now, unfortunately, when you get out there, you don't have pirates or a Looney Tune fighting you. You got the aliens in the game, which are pretty much they're Klingons, fight with honor and die with dishonor, that kind of crap. And they've got fast ships with big guns that can kill you. And you try as your best. I mean, you might be able to take out one or two of them, but you got 4 points to hit. One has nothing. One to attack you almost as soon as you get out of the little jump portal thing. And then there's 2 other spots you still got to get to. It's damn. And I would always die on this mission. So the thing that sucked is when you restart back at the point, you have to fly through rocks to get to the jump point. When you get to the next system, you got to get to another point and fly through more rocks just to get to that part that you kept dying at. And I think I tried this thing over and over 10, 15, 20 times. And it's I can't do it. And this went on for a couple weeks. It's I just can't do it, but I'm going to do it because I know I can. It's I just know that I can do this. Long story short, what happened is the computer we had crashed and burned everything. Something happened. And it's I have to start all over again. And it was the epitome of a rage quit, where it's just screw that. I mean, there are enough murder spots in that game before with just...
you're going to get these comments oh, that game is so easy, you're such a pussy.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. It's more or less, it's just you know what, screw this. I've got other games to play. I've got other Wing Commander games. I got You Don't Know Jack. I got, what else did I have at the time? Quake 2, Doom 1 and 2. It's just, I've got other games to play. And this, but it's it's also my favorite game, and it's kind of haunting me, you haven't beat me yet, have you? It's go away. It's no, you got to play me again. You got to build yourself all the way up again. It's almost like a role-playing game, except instead of getting better, you just buy better stuff for your ship and then buy the better ships. And it's ugh, all right. I did not get back to this game for a year. and I got back to the exact same mission. And for anyone out there wondering, it's Ryganin Mission 3. It's like, I'm going to do this. So I got, and of course, because I'm such a retard, I'm coming in with the same ship, the Orion with the tachyon guns and the torpedo launcher, whatever. I'm going to go do this. And the same thing happens over and over and over and over again. And I'm thinking, I have read so many hint... Yeah, it's like, I have read so many hint books. I have read so many online walkthroughs. I know back and front what I need to do this. I'm finally like, fine, I will go make the money for my Centurion and the ion and tachyon guns and the missile launchers and whatever else I need. And it, like, yeah, you got to grind for money in that game. I mean, like anything else, to get the good stuff. And, you know, and the thing is, you got to, like, get out of there too, because you're like in this ass end of space. You got to get back to the good part of space, like get the good missions. You go back out there, and it's like, okay, the hint is when you get in the mission, turn around immediately, like where you jump in, fly away to get out of the asteroid field. And when you turn around, this certain missile identifies like this exact ship. You shoot at them, and they'll be busy chasing away from the missiles that they will run into the rocks. That leaves you one-on-one to fight the other ship, and you can kill it easier because, you know, the AI in that game is kind of dumb. I take him out, I take out the other guy, I go to the other points, and on my first try with the recommended loadout, I beat the mission. And it's like, F you, I am never playing that damn thing again. And I'm looking at these walkthroughs, and they're like,
this is
like,
your favorite game.
My favorite game, Wing Commander Privateer.
How could it be your favorite game if it's caused you this much pain?
Because the rest of the game is fun.
Oh. You know, I kind of had like almost like a similar thing happen, not with that kind of time span, but just last night I was playing Rise of the Triad, and I was up to this boss, and he was pissing me off. And I wound up rage quitting. And then this morning, I got back on it after work, and I was talking to my friend Andrew, who I was talking to last night, and I said, I'm going to try this boss again. I said, either I'll rage myself to bed or beat him. He's like, oh, I'm betting on rage. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Now, I'm not going to say I beat him on my first try, but within 5 minutes, I was like, I got the bastard.
Yeah, it's like... And Andrew, is he one of the guys who works at Kazarth Studios?
He does, yes.
Along with Tanya?
Yeah, although I've known him way longer than that.
Who I can make laugh?
Yeah, you certainly do. Oh, by the way, okay, so tell me, you won the contest.
Yes.
You've been playing Chronicles of a Dark Lord. We've gotten some feedback from you, but obviously you got to be a little further in it now. How are you enjoying that?
Well, I definitely like it. I am glad that...
What point in the game are you at? That's really what I want to know.
Oh, jeez, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the name of the town, but it's like this misty town.
Oh, that's an easy one to remember. That's Ivory Mist.
Yeah, I think so. It's like, it's either that or it's like this ice village where you kill the Indigo Knight.
Oh, okay, so you're past Ivory Mist then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I was just after that, and
so you're in Ativian, and the first town there, I forget what the first town's called, but that whole ice continent is called Ativian.
Oh yeah, it's like the last thing I remember.
Did you in there?
That was gonna be. I was just gonna say the last thing I remember doing, and thinking, awesome. And like as soon as I shut off the game. This is like a week ago because I've been kind of busy. I definitely want to get back to playing the game. But I said, can we please have more humor in this next one? And whoever responds on the Facebook page...
That was me, by the way. I responded.
Okay, says, you know, yes, but it's because of the war. It's not going to be quite as...
Well, it's going to be... You see, here's the thing. It's always going to have moments of humor, but...
Oh, yes.
It's not going to be nearly as lighthearted because, like, people are getting killed, whole cities are getting destroyed. It's a lot more serious in the second game.
Yeah, I'd say I'm definitely enjoying a lot of the humor aspects. The other great one has got to be, what was the line? I think it was like, all boys are assholes.
Oh, no, asshole.
Yeah.
She was saying, and then Ziria corrects her, listen, the word you're looking for is asshole. It means a stinky person who deserves a sword put up their butt. And she's like, oh, I get it. Then boys are assholes.
Another one for Ilion. That's the name of that castle, right? Ilion?
Ilion was the castle where it was mostly women, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Country dedicated to women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely need to get back into it. I guess to wrap up, though, the thing that really, as far as my other story about the privateer game, is looking at these walkthroughs. They'll usually give like a 1 to 10 scale on like how hard a mission is, and like the last one they give a 10, and I didn't nearly have as much trouble. They gave this one like a 4 or a 5.
Well, it sounds like it's not that it's incredibly difficult, but just that
I stubborned my way into making it hard. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
like
I'm going to do
sometimes you
this
gotta-
my way.
sometimes you get a mental block about a certain thing, and you know.
It's like no, I like the underdog ship that's not as cool.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Like, okay, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Mm.
One of the bosses, the boss of the Shadow Temple, Bongo Bongo,
Mm-hmm.
considered to be notoriously difficult for some reason, but the first time I ever fought him is incredibly easy. Had no problem at all. Figured him out right away. Didn't get hit. And I was like, that's the guy that everybody's talking about, really?
Yeah, it's like I've definitely had cases like that in the past.
And every time I play through it, it was like no big deal to me. And then there was this one time that for whatever reason, I had either it was a mental block or my timing was off or something. I could not get past him. Even though I had done it many times before, usually with no problem at all, I was getting bitched like a bitch, so to speak. Anyway, we don't have much time left. You wanted to sing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sing, no video game themes.
Like Portal songs in Swedish or
no, not One Winged Angel like that
in Latin.
guy. I don't remember. Not the Portal song like Hoofnisse or however his name is pronounced did.
Hoofnisse I thought was pretty funny though. He was amusing.
Oh yeah. Well, I remember not too long ago, I guess this is what inspired this, is there was a List Critics episode where...
I know exactly what you're talking about, too, because you told me before what you were going to sing, and...
Yeah, and you had more or less said that you didn't like this one show. You said, well, you didn't necessarily say you didn't like it, you just said it was overrated, but not necessarily bad, and that you liked something that it was about... And more or less, it did remind me, because it's one of those things I memorized as a kid. Now, we're all fans of The Simpsons, right?
If you're not, then get out.
Yeah. And if you've been watching as long as you have, you'd remember an episode called Flaming Moe's. And in that episode, they've got a little takeoff on Cheers.
Yep.
And it goes a little something
like
this. When the weight of the world has got you down and you want to end your life... Bills to pay, a dead-end job, and problems with a wife. Well, don't throw in the towel, 'cause there's a place right down the block where you can drink your misery away. At Flaming Moe's, where liquor in a mug can warm you like a hug. Happiness is just a flaming moe away. Happiness is just a flaming moe away. And I'll always remember that end where Homer is just the outside guy looking in at everyone having fun at this drink he made. And just, it really kind of capped that off. I mean, though, the rest of the time you're seeing like Moe getting slapped and this guy bleeding and Mrs. Krabappel looking like a whore. And yeah, great times.
That is terrible. You know, somebody actually made like a real Flaming Moe. Obviously, it doesn't have cough syrup in it because that would get you high.
Is it purple?
I don't know what it looks like, but apparently it's brandy, peppermint schnapps, sloe gin, blackberry liqueur, and strawberry juice. Oh, and you are supposed to add cough syrup.
Oh. Wow. And do you light it on fire?
You do light it on fire, yeah.
And does it, like, burn?
I don't know, but it says you pour all the ingredients except for the cough syrup into a highball glass, stir, then you float the cough syrup on top, and I guess this cough syrup is what catches on fire. And then you extinguish it, and then you drink it.
It'd be interesting to try. I'm not a big drinker, but, Yeah, it's like a flaming mo.
Honestly, it sounds really fruity to me. I mean, you got the peppermint and the blackberry and the strawberry.
Strawberry, yeah.
And then cough syrup, which you shouldn't be drinking.
Does it specify like what kind of cough medicine, like Robitussin?
It says plain children's cough syrup, nothing too flavorful.
Oh, well, I guess, when you have like those weird cherry flavors that don't taste like cherry at all, it'll
They're
get in the way
telling you not
of
to
them.
use Dimetap is basically what they're saying.
Oh.
Dimetap tastes like fucking grape soda.
Oh, jeez. I can imagine people just drinking that right out of the bottle.
I did that once when I was a teenager.
Oh,
Just because I liked the way... I was sick, but then it tasted so good that I drank some more of it. And let me tell you, that shit gets you high.
Oh. I was going to say, it's almost like Ludens, or it's like medicine that's not really medicine.
No. Dimetap will get you high if you drink too much of it, and it was not a pleasant experience for me.
Oh, man.
It was like... It was a fucked out experience is what it was. Now, here's an alternate flaming mo. Somebody else says if you use tequila, peppermint schnapps, creme de menthe, and grape soda. It says mix ingredients into a shaker, strain into a glass, and pray.
Pray? Jeez.
And then they say the grape soda is obviously a cop-out for liability purposes since they don't want to be encouraging any off-label uses of cough syrup.
Well, considering that cough medicine was the secret ingredient, you'd think you would want to have cough medicine in it.
Yeah, but...
I mean, honestly, my favorite part of that, I mean, there's a lot of good parts from that episode, but my favorite one is when Professor Frink is, like, going through the gastromatograph.
Secret ingredient is love!
Who's been screwing with this thing? That and when Bart wants to make flaming moes at the school, and he's like, Bart, are those liquor bottles? I brought enough for everybody. Take those to the teacher's lounge. Have what's left.
You can have what's left, yeah.
I mean, it's right up there with, like, Mrs. Krabappel and Mrs. Hoover smoking underneath the sign that says, no smoking.
Wow. She's well beyond the point of caring there.
Oh, yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
All right, well, that's all the time we have.
Right on.
Gotta turn the recording off.
Okay.
So, see you some other time. We gotta have you back one day.
Oh, yeah. Definitely want to try.
All right. And plug your channel, serpent21. What do you have on your channel?
Me talking about my toys and wrestling and occasionally playing games.
Scintillating.
Oh, yeah. It's like you can see my Captain America figure and wrestling figures. And
all right.
I even got a Black Widow figure, but I never talked about it.
Oh, my. All right, I'll see you.
See you later. Thank you.
All right, so thanks to Serpent for coming by and giving us an interesting chat and also singing that Simpsons thing. That was pretty funny. Let's get to the news. I don't have a whole hell of a lot to talk about this week, but I do have to talk about Nintendo briefly, and this is really to do with them in Europe. Apparently, their TV series, which allows you to watch television on the Wii U, did not come out in Europe when it was supposed to. It was supposed to come out in 2013. It's been a couple of weeks into 2014. Still no TV, as in TVII. Nintendo has apologized for the delay on their British website. We would like to apologize that we were unable to bring the Nintendo TV service to Europe in 2013 as originally planned. Please continue to keep an eye out for further announcements regarding this service in the near future. Yeah, I don't know. It probably has something to do with the fact that in England and in the UK, and this just makes me crazy that this actually exists. You have to have a license to watch television. I can't believe they did. It's ridiculous, but there you have it. Atlas has a new game coming out called Conception 2. And it's an M-rated game. I'm not familiar with the first Conception, but it's coming to PlayStation Vita and 3DS, and it is rated M. The boxes that I'm seeing all say ratings pending, but it is rated M, so that's kind of interesting. I wonder if it's kind of like Catherine or something like that. The full title of it is Conception 2, Children of the Stars, and if you pre-order, you can get a 10-track CD composed by Masato Kuda from Devil May Cry and the Monster Hunter series, so there you go. I might have to look into that. It looks like an interesting game, and I've never heard of the original Conception, so there you go. Last season, I talked about the European, UK game store called Game, which was very close to going out of business. They were in a lot of financial problems. Looks like they may be bouncing back. They closed more than 200 stores in the UK and Ireland. They closed down completely in Australia, and they filed for bankruptcy, which they call administration over there. And they got delisted from the stock exchange. They were purchased by another company. But it looks like Game will be making a return. They will be re-entering the stock market. And they're going to be doing what's called a flotation, which would involve selling shares of the company to the public, which we in America would call going public. And it looks like, you know, they may be coming back due to the strong resurgence of the market from things like Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and the fact that the previous consoles are also doing a lot better in Europe than they were a while ago. Here's some good news for Fable fans, or actually probably rather for people who maybe were interested in the series but never got into it. The Fable trilogy, which will include Fable Anniversary, Fable 2, and Fable 3, will be coming to the Xbox 360. And it's definitely coming to the Xbox Live Marketplace. I'm not sure about actual physical releases. I think it is coming to a physical release. It doesn't say here, but you might want to look into that. Now, by the way, if you own any of these games on the Xbox Live Marketplace, you will not get a second copy if you buy the bundle. Normally, you get a discount, which kind of sucks. You'd think you'd get a second copy, like on Steam, you'd be able to gift it to somebody, you know? It's... oh well. Oh well. Ubisoft has something interesting coming out. Tetris. There will be a next-generation version of Tetris. I don't really know what would make it next-gen, but there you go. There will be all the typical sort of features that you expect. And apparently there will also be a three-dimensional take on Tetrisphere, which is on the Nintendo 64, which is a really cool game. So, there you go. Hopefully that will be cool. Ubisoft will be publishing that. Final Fantasy VI has been released on Android devices. It's a remake which has redrawn graphics. Some of the graphics look pretty good. Some of them, they could use a little work, in my opinion. Music sounds absolutely great, so if you have any Android or iOS devices as well, you can get it for $16 on the Google Play Store. So there you go. It also includes all the features that were in Final Fantasy VI Advance for the Game Boy Advance, which was previously the most recent version of that. No news on this coming to any of the consoles, handhelds, or PC. You wish they would bring it to them, but apparently Squaresoft hates fucking money. Alright, I got some news about the Steam controller. It's gone through some changes since the last time you saw it. Apparently the touchscreen on it is now gone and replaced by traditional buttons. So, they're doing that for backwards compatibility purposes, so you could play older games that don't necessarily lend themselves to that touchpad. The controller is still in beta, so it may change in the future, but you could check it out on Valve's Steam website, the Steam Machines website. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in seeing the next iteration of the Steam controller. Finally, The Last of Us will be getting some DLC. I wanted to talk about that very briefly. It's called Left Behind, and it will be coming out on Valentine's Day. Let's see. It's going to cost $15, and let's see. Left Behind will star a younger, more playful version of pandemic survivor Ellie. Left Behind... Younger? She's already a kid. Alright. But apparently it's a prequel, and it's included as part of The Last of Us Season Pass. And you could check that out on Naughty Dog's Facebook page or their website for some information. So there you go. That's it for the news. I got to really wrap it up kind of quickly today, because just not much to talk about, and I don't want to blather on and on and on. But let's get to sales charts. It's very interesting this week. Things have changed a bit. So, here are the top-selling games, and we're going to go with America first for the week ending in January 4th. Call of Duty Ghosts on Xbox 360 was the #1 game that sold 116,360 copies. Grand Theft Auto 5 for Xbox 360 sold 107,602 copies. Grand Theft Auto 5 for PlayStation 3 sold 74,665 copies. Call of Duty Ghosts on PlayStation 3 sold 71,892 copies. NBA 2K14 on the Xbox 360 sold 54,204 copies. Just Dance 2014 on the Wii, 49,974 copies. Minecraft on the Xbox 360 sold 45,242 copies. Pokemon X and Y versions on the 3DS sold 45,180 copies. Battlefield 4 on the Xbox 360 sold 42,604 copies, and Call of Duty Ghosts on the Xbox One sold 34,328 copies. You know, I thought everybody got Call of Duty like the day it came out, so it's kind of interesting to see it's still kind of tearing up the charts. So there you go. In Europe, the top-selling game was Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 3, which sold 60,627 copies. Gran Turismo 6 on the PlayStation 3 sold 60,336 copies. FIFA 14 on the PlayStation 4 sold 60,075 copies. FIFA 14 on PlayStation 3 sold 56,668 copies. Call of Duty Ghosts on the PlayStation 3 sold 56,425 copies. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag on PlayStation 3 sold 47,494 copies. Pokemon X and Y version on the 3DS sold 46,914 copies. Battlefield 4 on PlayStation 4 sold 45,158 copies. Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox 360 sold 45,074 copies. And Just Dance 2014 on the Wii sold 43,904 copies. In Japan, Puzzle and Dragon Z... Wow, they brought back Puzzle and Dragon. Puzzle and Dragon Z on the 3DS sold 156,176 copies. Pocket Monsters X and Y version, of course that's Pokemon, on the 3DS sold 123,608 copies. The Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS, 71,438 copies. Wii Party U on the Wii U sold 60,370 copies. Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U sold 51,649 copies. Monster Hunter 4 on the 3DS, 49,409 copies. New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U sold 48,863 copies. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster on PlayStation 3 sold 43,149 copies. The same game on the PlayStation Vita, 39,757 copies, and Sentochu Densetsu no Shinobi 2 Survival Battle on the 3DS, 34,565 copies. So globally, the big winner was Pokemon, although Grand Theft Auto 5 and Call of Duty Ghosts were multi-platform, so they sold more than Pokemon when you add everything together. Puzzle and Dragon Z, Grand Theft Auto, I already said it, Gran Turismo 6, Zelda, Mario 3D World, and Just Dance also were in the top 10. As for systems, in North America, the Xbox One came out on top this time, 116,744 of those sold. PlayStation 4 in second place with 98,590 sold. In third place would be the 3DS, 86,555 units sold. You know what this tells me is that everybody's got the Christmas money. They're going out and they're buying the new systems. I think I said that last week, too. In fourth place, the Xbox 360 with 70,149 units sold. The PlayStation 3, 52,166 units sold. The Wii U, 27,700 units sold. The Wii, 12,008 units sold. The Vita, 11,613 units sold. And the PlayStation Portable, 2,687 units sold. In Europe, the PlayStation 4 came out on top with 119,852 units sold. The 3DS, 116,940 units sold. The PlayStation 3, 90,253 units sold. The Xbox One, 45,028 units sold. The PlayStation Portable, well, that's tearing up Europe, 41,422 units sold. The Xbox 360, 37,177 units sold. The Vita, 29,844 units sold. The Wii, 25,113 units sold. The Wii U, 21,758 units sold. And is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Moving on to Japan. In Japan, the top dog was the 3DS, 184,135 units sold. The PlayStation Vita, 80,736 units sold. The Wii U, 55,723 units sold. The PlayStation 3, 40,673 units sold. The PlayStation Portable, 12,886 units sold. The Wii, 1,479 units sold. The Xbox 360, 782 of those sold. I do not have Japanese data as of yet for PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. So globally, the big winner is once again the 3DS. The PlayStation 4 is after that, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, Vita, Xbox 360, Wii U, PSP, and then the Wii. So, that's the show for this week. Leave me your questions and comments. If you want to be a guest on the show for next week, contact me via Skype. Name is the same as on here. See you next week. VMX out.